Joss the Boss Whedon. When he isn't ramming married actresses or representing the most vast disparity of face to watermelon-sized dome ratio this side of Charlie fucking Kirk, he's serving as a living, breathing cautionary tale. After a slow burn on Buffy and a veritable cornucopia of crappy comics in the mid-2000s, he absolutely exploded on the cinematic adaptation of The Avengers. After which, his record gets patchier than his beard. From almost the instant Avengers Age of Ultron and its endless procession of cringy pop culture patter were unleashed upon the hapless populace, he's slowed the fuck down some, you may have noticed, going from an almost annual cinematic schedule at his peak to a project every 2 to 3 titty fucking years, and finally to the 5-year fucking drought in which he is presently ensconced. But what preceded his plummet from Golden Boy to Whipping Boy? 2 words, folks. Justice League. Now, it's unfair to blame Whedon for most of that muddlefuck. Zack Snyder was well on his way to crafting yet another dour, darksome celluloid Nembutal injection long before Whedon came aboard to turn it into the Social Justice League. Replacing Snyder midstream with Whedon and expecting a cinematic classic to result is like the Yankees firing their coach halfway through the season, breaking every arm in the bullpen and saying, "Now go out and win me a World Series." You may as well ask Stephen Hawking to breakdance, or ask Ethan Klein's eyebrows to stop fucking breakdancing. We all know what happened next.
Kal-El, no!
And the influx of allegations from the cast that he was a shrieking, talentless tyrant didn't help matters either. Pinching out a bomb would have been bad enough, but by then, the calendar had clicked on over to 2017, the dawn of the Me Too millennium, when every chick who ever got brushed up against on a crowded subway sold her story to the Times and demanded millions for mental anguish. But even in an engineered ass-fucking such as this, Joss Whedon had been cruising for a cancellation for some fucking time. You see, friends, he is a dreaded male feminist. Don't worry, ladies, no need to hide your drinks. They're not in the room with us now. At this point, I think we're all hip to the fact that male feminist is millennialese for closet sexual peccant. It's like Vosh using the term minor attracted persons rather than the clinical terminology. Marksmanship practice. In short, where Joss Whedon's female cast members are concerned, this dude has eaten more stars than Kirby. Anyone who's been paying attention since Gamergate knows the fucking rules. The brighter the virtue signal, the darker the allegations. And this dude's virtue signals entailed social media photo ops with Anita fucking Sarkeesian. Yep, this shit's about to get darker than Mike Tyson's nipples. And sure as shit, after devoting every waking hour to remonstrating male gamers for their toxic masculinity, his own wife called him a hypocrite and admitted he'd been running with half a Hollywood for a decade or more while using his sham marriage as a smokescreen to safeguard his third-wave feminist bona fides. To hear her tell it, Buffy was an underage dating service and Dollhouse was Joss Whedon's private fuck harem on the Fox network. Most alarming of all, this means that at some point, Joss Whedon had sex. Why am I dredging up all this Me Too hysteria, you inquire? Simple. Because his career cratered in the immediate aftermath of these allegations, with his only major project since 2016 being a single episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and an HBO series called The Nevers that may as well scrawl the words premature cancellation across the opening credits. And then it happened. Just this week, with prospects dwindling and desperation mounting, Joss Whedon opened his fucking yap, and rolling fields of fucking shit. Was it ever amazing? When Wonder Woman herself, Gal Gadot, claimed he'd threatened her career on set, he replied that she misunderstood because, and I quote, "English isn't her first language." Mind you, this is a dude who apparently called Charisma Carpenter a big sweaty hog while filming Angel, only for it to emerge that she was actually just fucking pregnant. Of the allegations, he was difficult as a director on Justice League, with particular attention to alleged actor Ray Fisher, who attempted to play Cyborg in the film. Whedon said his entire story, and I quote, logically made no sense. Welcome to the Snyderverse, Slick. Claiming he'd actually discussed the script changes with Fisher in friendly fashion before calling him, quote, a malevolent force, and again I quote, a bad actor in both senses. Razor Force, I got a problem here. I think I'm starting to like Joss Whedon. Seriously? Sure, he's a ginger jackass. Sure, he's a big bald goof. Sure, his characters all talk like they're the same person with a different fucking face. But folks, be honest, momentarily shelving our mutual disdain for this hacky hobbit after a decade of Denis Villeneuve 8-hour epics that 14 people give a fuck about, all of them paid professional reviewers, where Hollywood attempts to portray itself as painfully PC and ever so woke, in the same town where a glass ceiling is the thing young actresses stare at while Harvey Weinstein fucking plows them. Are you, like me, starting to miss the more honest days when Hollywood directors would cuss out the second AD, tell Ben Affleck to shit in his hat and warn abroad she's getting fucking fat, instead of listening to the transracial leading labia virtue signal her world-rending wokeness while Roger Deakins films a fucking sunrise for 15 hours straight? I'm not saying he's on my Christmas card list or anything, not least of which because I doubt he can fucking read, but folks, isn't Joss Whedon's good old-fashioned outright arrogance refreshingly honest in an era where we all pretend Black Panther is a monument to societal change instead of a glorified fucking race swap of the Phantom? Folks, Ray Fisher is actually bitching about his role as a robot being carved out of this terrible fucking film because, and I quote, he could have challenged stereotypes if he had more fucking screen time. Yeah, only if the stereotype is that you can fucking act, my dude. Look, I'm not defending Whedon as such. I still think he's a spine-snapping douche, but people, can't we all admit he's the precise phylum of fucking douche that the halfwits in Hollywood deserve to be stuck with? So yes, I will laugh at this until my lungs collapse. And no, I am not offering my abdomen as a shield against the online headshots whizzing his way on social media. I mean, have you seen the size of the man's melon? The grounds crew at Fenway Park couldn't cover that kind of surface area. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
Take that, Joss Whedon. Anyway,
Did I mention that I hate everything Joss Whedon's ever done?
You have mentioned that before, and I'm
wow.
actually quite startled by that, because I think the man's a god. And
Okay. What's your favourite Joss Whedon line?
I don't really have a particular
Just name
favourite
one that you
Joss
like.
Whedon
Give
line.
one that you like.
You put him on the spot.
No, I quite like stop jumping into conclusions. I didn't jump. I took a small step, and then their conclusions were.
Okay. Now, is there any Joss Whedon character who could say that and it would seem out of character?
Yeah,
the man has no sense of character voice. He is a terrible, smug writer, and I hate him.